Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are tuning in. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the Brahma Viharas meditation program. Today we'll be focusing on a meditation designed to allow us to cultivate joy for strangers, joy for people we don't know, or it could be people we know but we have no clear feeling of attraction or aversion towards these people. A neutral person, if you will. Now, if you think about it, neutral people, that makes up probably the majority of people that we meet, right? If we live in a city or even in the countryside, you pass people in the store, on the road, on your way to work, on your way to school, strangers, neutral people. Now that might be quite different in today's climate. If you're experiencing lockdown for the COVID, you might not experience very many strangers at all. But for a normal day-to-day experience, the stranger, the people we don't know, the neutral people, that's a majority, I would have to say. So this is quite a profound practice. And it's profound not only in a numbers or a statistic way, but it's profound because we are taking the time and are taking our energy to practice expanding our circle of care and compassion, of equanimity, of loving kindness and joy, beyond where it normally would reside. Typically, we have that circle of care holds ourself, and it's reserved for a few loved ones and a few friends. And that becomes our tribe. Those are the people that we share our feelings with, and those are the people that we would perhaps venture forth to protect, to defend, whether physically or emotionally or spiritually. Those are the people we would risk our own safety in order to help their well-being or to defend their safety, their physical well-being, their emotional or spiritual well-being. Well, the Brahma Viharas practices are designed to allow us to expand that. And so here today we'll be cultivating this quality of joy for people we don't know. Now, a couple of other really profound benefits of this type of practice is that it starts to erode our sense of competitiveness. When we can celebrate people we don't know, we celebrate their good luck, their good fortune, their successes in life. That's joy, and that erodes that very prevalent tendency to want to keep up with the neighbors, right? So here we're doing away, or we're eroding very gradually that sense of competitiveness. Also, the voice of the inner critic. We are gradually eroding, sanding down, wearing away at that voice that tells us, oh, we should be better at this, or we can't enjoy this right now because we have to do X, Y, and Z. That voice that inhibits our experience of joy. We're actively seeking out that voice in this practice. And when we come across it, we don't try to push it away. We don't use any effort in making that voice go away, but rather we observe it. We notice it. We say, oh, look at it. What is this voice? Where does this voice come from? Why is it here? What is it telling me? And when you really study it in that way, you make it into an object. It no longer becomes a part of your voice. It becomes objectified. So you've separated from it, and then you look at that voice of the inner critic. And when you objectify it in that way, when you look at it in that way, it dissolves. And that can be really a relief, because now joy simply arises just because we're alive. We take enjoyment in the sensations of having a human body. We take enjoyment in simply being able to see the sunset. So I think that's all I want to say about the practice. But just before we launch into it, I'll outline it briefly. So I'll ring the meditation bell. I'll guide us into the present moment experience. And so we'll do that by feeling the sensations of the breath, feeling or hearing the sounds of the present moment, and feeling the sensations of the body. We'll do breath, body, and sounds in that order. Keeping in mind that sensations of the breath are always present moment experiences. You can't feel a past breath or anticipate a future breath, what that would feel like. So it's always right now. Sensations of the body as well, always present moment experiences. You can recall a headache that you had last week, but you can't take medicine for that headache now, right? So that if you have a headache, sorry if you do, but if you do, that's a present moment experience. And you can think about an operation that you might have a week from now, but you can't take anesthesia for that operation today, right? So when that experience happens, it will be now when it happens. Sounds are also present moment. You can remember how loud a concert was that you went to last week, but you can't put earplugs in now for that loud concert that you experienced a week ago. Equally, you can anticipate how loud it will be if you're going to maybe an amusement park next week and there'll be a lot of children there. You can think, oh, that'll be really loud. But you can't put earplugs in now for that experience, right? So sounds always present moment. Okay. So we'll come into the present moment through breath, body, sounds, and then we'll rest there just for a few moments. And then we'll offer these very profound phrases of joy, first to our own heart, as if we're bringing our heart a very precious, rare gift. With each phrase, we visualize or imagine what our life would look or feel like if those phrases were completely reflective of our life circumstance, completely true of our experience of life. And then we offer those phrases to somebody we don't know, a stranger. We do this in a visualization. If you can visualize somebody you don't know or somebody for whom you have no feelings of attraction or aversion towards, a neutral person. This could be somebody you might have seen once or twice who works at the store, somebody you might have seen in passing in a hallway a few times. Just to see their face in your mind and then offer them these phrases of joy. And then visualizing, imagining what their life would look or feel like for them if these phrases were completely reflective of their life circumstance. So we'll do that for about 10 or 12 minutes, and then we come back to the present moment, let everything settle. Any experiences of joy that might have arisen during the practice, we can just rest with those. Okay, enjoy this guided meditation on joy for strangers. So allowing the body, mind, and heart to rest. Just coming into this present moment experience. Noticing the breath as it enters and leaves the nose. Noticing the breath as it touches the back of the throat. You might notice the rib cage expanding and contracting as you inhale and exhale. There might be sensations of clothing moving to adjust with the rising and falling of the body as you inhale and exhale. You might also notice the abdomen rising and falling with each breath. Noticing the back moving out as you breathe in as you breathe out. Noticing the shoulders rising and falling with each breath. And as you inhale and exhale, you might also notice the body straightening up slightly on the in-breath and leaning forward slightly on the out-breath. And while resting there with the experience of breathing, noticing the sensations of clothing against the shoulders, the arms resting against the body, noticing the hands resting against the body or touching each other. There might also be sensations of clothing against the back, the weight of the body against the chair or cushion, mat or floor. Noticing the sensations of clothing against the legs, the feet against the mat or the floor. You might also notice sensations arising from the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, sensations arising throughout the face, including the lips and the nose, the eyes and the forehead. Noticing any sensations arising from the top of the head. So we'll rest right there just for a few moments, resting with the breath and the body. And you might also notice the sounds of the present moment. Not listening to one sound in particular, but noticing the entire field of sounds. Hearing all of the sounds all at the same time. And in addition to any sound, paying close attention to the quality of still silence within this present moment. When you listen to the silence in this way, you might notice how the sounds of the present moment interact and relate to that silent space. And so we'll rest right there, maintaining open, spacious awareness on the silence and sound, sensations of body and breath, and just rest. And now, while resting in this present moment experience, we'll begin offering these very precious phrases of joy to our own heart, as if we were bringing our heart the most precious, rare gift. And we'll briefly visualize or imagine what our life would look or feel like if each phrase was completely reflective of our life circumstance, completely true of how we experience our life. May I enjoy the activities of life itself. May I enjoy things just as they are. May I experience the world taking joy in all that I do. May I know what to do, whatever arises. And now, while breathing in and breathing out, allow a visualization to arise in your mind's eye. Visualize a stranger, a person for whom you have no feelings of attraction or aversion towards. And if you can, seeing this person clearly in your mind's eye, and we'll begin offering these very precious phrases of joy to the stranger's heart, as if we were offering them the most precious, rare gift. With each phrase, we'll spend about a minute visualizing or imagining what their life would look or feel like if each phrase was completely reflective of their life circumstance. May you enjoy the activities of life itself. May you enjoy things just as they are. May you experience the world taking joy in all that you do. May you know what to do, whatever arises. May you enjoy the activities of life itself. May you enjoy things just as they are. May you experience the world taking joy in all that you do. May you know what to do, whatever arises. And breathing in and breathing out, allowing any visualizations in the mind's eye to dissolve. You can allow those to fade back into the open, spacious awareness from which they came. Bringing attention and awareness to the sounds of the present moment. Not listening to one sound in particular, but noticing the entire field of sounds. Hearing all of the sounds all at the same time. And you might also notice a backdrop of silent space within the sounds of the present moment. And so while resting there with the sounds and silence, bringing attention to the sensations of feet against the mat or the floor, sensations of clothing against the legs, noticing the weight of the body against the cushion or chair, mat or floor. Noticing the sensations of clothing against the back. And you might also notice the hands resting against the body or touching each other. The arms resting against the body There might be the sensations of clothing against the shoulders. Perhaps also noticing sensations arising from the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, sensations arising throughout the face, including the ears, the cheeks of the face, the lips and the nose, the eyes and the forehead. Noticing any sensation arising from the top of the head. And while resting there with the sounds and silence, the sensations arising throughout the body, bringing attention to the breath as it enters and leaves the nose. Noticing the breath as it touches the back of the throat. The rib cage expanding and contracting with each breath. The rising and falling of the abdomen as you inhale and exhale. Noticing the back moving out as you breathe in as you breathe out. Noticing the shoulders rising and falling with each breath. And so we'll rest right there just for a few moments, resting in open, spacious awareness, silence and sound, body and breath, and just rest. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for this guided meditation offering, cultivating and extending joy to strangers, to people we don't know. And first, of course, we start with ourselves, cultivating that joy in our own heart, and then extending that out to people we're neutral towards or people we don't know. I will be back tomorrow guiding a similar practice, but tomorrow's meditation we extend that joy out to perceived enemies. I'll be talking more tomorrow about how that's done and why we consider an enemy a perceived enemy. There's something about illusion there, and so tune in for that. It's a little foreshadowing for tomorrow. And again, that practice, allowing that circle of care, of compassion, of equanimity, of joy to expand out further, to include ourselves, loved ones, neutral people that we did today, and then expanding out even larger to include people we don't like very much. A couple of announcements. If you're tuning in here on the New Life Foundation page, I am on the New Life Foundation page only on Mondays and Thursdays. So if you want to catch me live on any other day of the week, tune into my Instagram page or tune into Facebook Live on my own Facebook profile or on my page, Such Sweet Thunder. You can catch any of the back episodes on YouTube, on Instagram. They're also available on my website, www.suchsweetthunder.org. Lots of other practice materials on the website as well, articles that I've had written and published and so forth. I've also just started a podcast, and there is a talk on the podcast about the Brahma Viharas practice, which this practice of joy is a part of. So if you're interested in that, it's a nice talk that I gave as a way of closing out the online retreat at the New Life Foundation that we just did a few weeks ago. So it's available there as a podcast. There's also several other podcasts now available. That is also Such Sweet Thunder. If you put that into Spotify podcasts, that comes up. Or you can just go to my Facebook page, click on the link there. That'll bring you to the podcast. So sometimes videos aren't convenient if you're out and about, you're in your car, you're at the beach somewhere, and you just want to listen to some meditation practices. The podcast is there, it's ready to go. A few other announcements. July 3rd at 6 p.m. I will be speaking live at the Bodhi Tree Cafe 2 in Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, giving a talk on mindfulness practice. This practice comes from Tibet. It's actually a combination of two practices that I learned in my Tibetan studies, and I combined the two practices, came up with a practice that I entitled Such Sweet Thunder. That's where that name comes from. So I'll be talking about that practice July 3rd at 6 p.m. That will also be live on Facebook and Instagram and all of the other platforms that I mentioned. July 4th at 2 p.m. I will be at Chiang Mai Holistic Healing Center, again in Chiang Mai, northern Thailand. That's at 2 p.m. Giving a talk about loving kindness, outlining a practice of loving kindness. And speaking of loving kindness, I am happy to say I will be facilitating a loving kindness practice a loving kindness meditation retreat at the New Life Foundation. And so we are welcoming people up to the New Life Foundation. We will be COVID friendly, doing social distancing and sanitizing and so forth like that during the retreat. So if you've been here for retreats before, you know that this will be a slightly different feel, but we're hoping to accommodate both safety and spiritual practice at the same time. So July 17th to the 24th, most of that will not be recorded or available over the internet platforms, all except for the opening talk. That will be, most likely will be available. I think that's all the announcements I need to make. I will see you all tomorrow for Joy for the Perceived Enemy. Stay safe, stay clean, stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you all tomorrow.